Well, the turbulence at Newark Liberty International Airport isn't just in the sky. It's rattling pilots, controllers, airlines, and passengers. Newark has had 4 major air traffic control equipment incidents in the past 2 weeks, combined with an alarming shortage of certified air traffic controllers. The result? On Sunday, a full ground stop was issued, triggering 450 delays, 75 cancellations. On Monday, those delays climbed to 574 delays, 54 cancellations. And today, 72 flights delayed, 77 already canceled. Now the FAA is weighing cutting the number of flights permitted to fly in and out of that airport. For United Airlines, which operates nearly 70% of all flights out of that airport, this is nothing short of a nightmare. Although the stock is bouncing higher today after Bernstein raised its price target to 105 from 84. Meanwhile, about 200 miles south of Newark in Washington, D.C., the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee is preparing to hold a hearing Thursday to probe how the FAA has implemented the $100 billion that Congress gave the agency last year. Today, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy unveiled a blueprint to completely overhaul the air traffic control system. Ahead of the busy summer travel season, the $100 billion question is air travel safe? All right, here to answer that, Allied Pilots Association spokesperson Captain Dennis Tajer. Dennis, that is the question to you. Are we safe?
Let's answer that right up. Yes, we are. We are safe, even with the system failures that have happened, and Secretary Duffy is leading us with action to repair this. But pilots and air traffic controllers, when there's lost communications, we have plans. They're FAA plans, and we're also trained to them, lost communications. In addition to that, we have onboard radar, TCAS system. It's basically to help us avoid other aircraft. It's not the way we like to operate day to day, but when these things happen, we keep it safe. And that's what people have to know out there. The inconveniences, beyond inconveniences, it's really, the public is suffering on this in Newark and elsewhere. But we are going to keep it safe and know that above all else, that is what everybody's focused on, from the secretary to the president to my airline to our union, every pilot out there and every air traffic controller. That's not going to change.
Well, but, I guess, the next question is the situation at Newark and how it's unfolding now. You've been quoted as saying that this is one of many volcanoes that are going to be erupting. And so, because the air traffic control system, again, on a national level, there is weakness. We're talking about technology from the 80s, floppy disks. Most our children don't even know what that is. So talk to us about how you think the air traffic control system should be updated, and also the time frame of that.
Well, it's exactly like Secretary Duffy has proposed. He hasn't just said we're going to fix things. He's listed what is going to be replaced. We've got to, I use the metaphor of volcanoes. There's an earthquake in Newark, and we have to make sure the tsunami doesn't spread throughout the country. And that's what we're doing, standing united with Secretary Duffy on this and every airline, of getting the actual hardware. Secretary Duffy laid out the equipment they're using now, and I watched it like everybody else, and I thought it was like an IT thrift store. That is decades in the making. We have the fortitude now to fix it. We just need Congress to step up, provide the entire funding up front so that this isn't a patchwork or a Band-Aid on a problem. It's a long-term fix to bring us into the golden age of aviation, and most importantly, the age of accountability, because we got to get this right. There's the time's done for glowing speeches. Action is required, and that's what we're seeing. And we're going to stand united with all those engaged in this.
Well, certainly, I think that the airline industry, the pilots, the crews, and of course, the new leadership at the FAA and the Transportation Department have the same goals. That's make our skies safe. But I think when the public starts to hear stories, when you hear the audio of the tower saying, "I can't see you," they're talking to a pilot. No, that's a little disconcerting. But also, there were 3. This is just last night. There were only 3 air traffic controllers working at Newark. At least one wasn't fully certified. I mean, we're talking from the hours of 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. Is that enough? I mean, don't we need to get staffing up to snuff? I mean, that's where I think where you have people worried about their safety.
I understand that, and so does Secretary Duffy. The key to this is to bring the traffic down to a level where it can be handled by that reduced staffing. This is, misplanning at its most glorious point. We have understaffing, underinvestment, non-modernization of the equipment. But the good news is knowing that's there, admitting it, and then giving a solution, an interim piece, lowering the amount of airplanes going into Newark so that it can be handled. It's like a traffic, a highway. If a lane is closed, you got to stop the flow of traffic there so you don't have a backup. That's what's going to keep us safe while we get this fixed. And there are already items that Secretary Duffy briefed that are being done, the fiber optics versus the copper wires. I'm not an expert at it, but it sure sounds like the action that can be taken today is being taken, and also the mitigating effects that can be taken today to ensure that our passengers are safe continues. And we're out there fighting a war, and Secretary Duffy is trying to give us the weapons, modern weapons, to ensure that we win that war. And that war is to keep you safe, and we will do it no matter what.
Well, and he also has talked about raising the retirement age for air traffic controllers from 56 up to 61, which I think is a very interesting thought. The other thing I wanted to ask you is that, overall, I mean, you've been doing this for 3 decades. With all of this time in the skies for you and your colleagues, what surprises you the most about the situation that we find ourselves in today?
That so many of us, pilot unions, air traffic control, and even elected officials have talked about this weakness, this problem, yet nothing was done. It's often said in D.C., more is often said than is done. We're now seeing the done part, and we got to just make sure that it's properly funded, and our elected officials do more than give us supportive words. Give us the funding to fix this so that we're not talking about it in the years to come. Let's do it now.
I love that you talk about there's a guard frequency, there's 2 radios, that there's a system called TCAS, TCAS. All of these are in place in jets so that those planes, those pilots talk to each other in the event that there is a problem with air traffic control. That is the safe story here. Dennis Tajer, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it.